Jesse. Welcome to Cloud9 Ranch. I'm Tara Reimer, and I'm so glad that you could be here with us today. So I've got some horses here for you to work with, and just tell you what I tell everybody when they first come. I don't actually like to give too much information, so I actually won't tell you the horses' names or their gender or anything, because we want to leave it's up to you. It's your experience. And we believe that actually deep down we all have solutions to what we're dealing with. Okay, so to start, I just want you to go and meet the horses, whatever that looks like to you. So I will tell you, all our horses are well trained. We use them with young kids, beginners, all of that. But of course, when they're in an arena like this, they're free to go wherever they want. Happening. So just when they have those conversations, you want to just watch and observe to see how they communicate and what is going on. I could tell you dozens and dozens of stories of how the horses understand you that I would never know. And it goes beyond fear. It goes to lying. We have horses that identify when people are lying because it changes. Probably like lie detector tests, right? It's just to see, so we met the horses, just to see what your connection is and what they think of you. I'd like you to just go ahead and start walking around the arena, and I'm going to remove myself from there.
So in this moment, I was very surprised that the horses were following me. I did not expect this because I didn't have anything in my hand to give them. They simply followed me because they felt safe. And I was very surprised that they felt safe with me. I also had to establish boundaries because those horses, as you can see, were leaning into my personal space. So through this, we can learn a lot about their child and their ability to establish those boundaries. So body language becomes very important in an experience like this and is very easily readable.
When the horses move, it indicates that there's something going on inside of us, because I'm quite close to you or whoever's with the horses. When the horses just stand there, everything is calm. It's kind of like room temperature. It's just a baseline. So when the horses stop moving, everything is good. As soon as those feet start moving, it's natural. They're a prey animal. They move their feet because they got to move to where they feel safer and more comfortable. Okay, so we talk a lot about behaviors in people. Those behaviors are really coping mechanisms to get to a comfortable state, or a more comfortable state. It really comes down to those basics.
Yeah, and you're saying the horse can feel your heartbeat, essentially? So then if anxiety, someone is anxious.
Yeah.
If they're going to their heart starts beating, how would they sense that?
Well, they'll sense it. I've seen different responses.
Okay.
So, and it also depends on the horse. Just like people, different horses have different sensitivities.
Right.
So, you might get a horse that's less sensitive to that. They'll still respond.
Okay.
But they'll respond from a place of confidence because they're maybe the boss in their pasture. They have no reason to flee because it doesn't scare them.
Okay.
So they may step in and as a way of confidence building for you or comfort.
Oh wow.
But if you have a horse that has been around anxious people and it created confusion and an uncomfortable state, then that horse will respond and look very much like you.
Okay, wow.
So we will have horses, I've had it where a client comes in and the horse has a complete panic attack.
Oh.
And I'll say, what's this about? Well, I'm having a panic attack right now, and this is what it looks like.
Okay.
And yet somebody else might come in and be a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, and the horse is more there just for you to lean on and be with. The thing is, when there's this stigma about, this is what you are, this is who you are.
Right.
horses have a whole different idea of what a safe person is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've seen it here where groups will come before they do a missions trip,
Yeah.
and they'll come and the dynamics are so different, and I get goosebumps. And the leaders will say to me, I never would have thought that. And the most talkative, kind of in your face, you thought they were the leader.
Yeah, so it uproots those assumptions.
Yeah, they come in here, and some of them, they're actually really intimidated, and they don't really got what they need. And that real quiet one that nobody really paid any attention to, they all of a sudden are the ones that are stepping up and leading because they've just got this different sense of awareness around them. It's absolutely incredible. So I think if every teacher would come for 1 hour, they would see their children for who they really are. You'd notice, I'm going to say something else that I haven't even talked about yet, is that trauma. So if you have trauma and are still working through that, you have slower processing time. That's just, you know, the biology of the brain. That's how it works. Horses are like that always. So if I go walk to the other end of the arena and I call my horse over, then generally they have that 9 to 12 second processing time. And so it's just like a person with trauma. I would say that teachers would find it very beneficial to help for self-regulation, awareness, mindfulness. We just had a new client start, a 6-year-old running away from school, just bored. This kid, there's nothing wrong with the kid. Kid's so bright, it just doesn't have an outlet, especially now with COVID. But I mean, sometimes parents are working or you don't have the means, you know, so there's all of those things to get the kids active. With that young child, just from being here one session, they already can self-regulate, be more aware, because when you're working with the horses, then you know, you have to be more aware for your own safety's sake. And they had no problems at school from 1 hour here. And I'm not saying it's just our place, but where there's a safe place where they can feel they can be themselves and be with these animals, it makes a real big difference in learning. And so we see very quick changes within that hour. So people say, how many sessions do I need? Well, it just depends how much do we want to work through.